Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I thank the committee for considering H.R. 1468, the Protect America's Innovation and Economic Security from CCP Act, which focuses our attention on the single greatest threat to the American people, the Chinese Communist Party. The threat we face from China needs no introduction, but catering to all those present, I will repeat, the CCP, the sole entity in control of China, is a threat to us on every socioeconomic, political, and cultural level. Our intelligence community has been raising these concerns for years, labeling China the defining threat of our generation. These concerns were echoed in testimonies from current and previous agency heads before this committee. Even Director Wray testified before this committee that no country presents a broader, more comprehensive threat to our ideas, innovation, and economic security than the CCP. In China's multi-pronged war against our people, economy, and infrastructure, the CCP has infiltrated our communities, sown disharmony, and stolen our hard-earned successes. The CCP achieves this by aggressively targeting and recruiting civilians to spy on other Chinese nationals and steal critical data from their employers. The sectors most targeted by Chinese espionage are the bedrock of American innovation: academic institutions, R&D, and IP. CCP-backed espionage against American companies has become rampant in recent years. In 2019, trade theft alone cost our economy over $500 billion annually, with China behind most of it. Since then, the damage could only have grown. This bill addresses this problem by creating a dedicated program under the DOJ called the CCP Initiative, focusing on countering economic espionage. The initiative establishes an enforcement strategy to protect critical sectors most vulnerable to the CCP's thievery: academic institutions, R&D labs, and the defense industrial base. While the intelligence community sounded the alarm on China's continued infiltration of our society, the Biden administration shuttered existing programs already addressing these concerns. Thanks to them, we regressed without a justifiable cause and had a virtually non-existent policy to counter the CCP's economic espionage activities. This bill fixes the last administration's mistakes by adopting a clear, multifaceted approach. It builds a framework of multi-agency cooperation and mutual consultation, ensuring that effective measures against our nation's greatest threats are never compromised by an incompetent executive wing. And the rollback of the China Initiative left us also lacking a dedicated approach and no oversight on issues of critical national interest. Since the program's end, the DOJ has done little to counter the CCP's economic espionage, while Congress has rarely, if ever, been updated on the status of these activities. To ensure the DOJ's cooperation and dedication of at least some resources in this area, an annual reporting requirement has been included, which secures congressional oversight and involvement. This ensures agencies focus on countering China's economic espionage and keeps Congress updated to act against these threats. The CCP poses a whole-of-community threat, which requires nothing less than a whole-of-government approach. This also requires no additional funding from Congress and has a negligible impact on the DOJ's current budget under the program. Before concluding, I'd like to underline that the worst affected by the CCP are people of Asian descent, specifically Chinese American citizens and people of Chinese origin in the United States who are identified and disproportionately targeted by the CCP for their schemes. The CCP ruthlessly targets and harasses them and their family members in many cases, especially those who are considered dissidents and refuse to bow down. Passing this bill will not only counter existing cases and deter new attempts to infiltrate our country, but also signal that the CCP's days of targeting our communities are over. I urge my colleagues to vote in favor of safeguarding our country, our people, and our future against the greatest threat of our lifetimes and support H.R. 1468. And I also have a amendment nature of a substitute. When you're ready, I yield back to the chairman.